Hey guys, welcome back to How to Roll Dice. I'm Josh. Another quick video for you today, and mostly this is for me to run something by you really fast, and then I'll make a quick fun little gaming comment. But do you see this microphone right here? I'm sure you do. Generally, my microphone is never in my shots. I actually go through quite a bit of trouble to make sure that my microphone is not in my shots. And by trouble, I mean, it's not that I put a lot of thought into it, although I do. It's that the gear that I'm trying to use to mount my microphone such that it doesn't show up in any of the shots is really obnoxious to set up and balance and position. And it honestly probably adds 20 to 30 minutes to every single video shoot, just because I have to fiddle around with the microphone, move its position, go back over to the camera, look at the recording. Is it in the shot? Okay, adjust the microphone. Is it angled at my mouth correctly? And it's this back and forth that takes somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes every time I want to film a video. And frankly, I don't know if you guys really care. And I know a lot of you are just going to say, of course we don't care, like we just want the gaming content and, you know, thanks for making the videos or whatever. But honestly, like, is it distracting to have this here? What I have this mounted on right now is basically an old Gorilla Pod, which is a flexi leg tripod. It's too weak to hold any of my cameras, which is why I stopped using it. I actually bought a new one that can hold my cameras. So this one holds somewhere between like 1 and 3 pounds comfortably, and a microphone weighs essentially nothing until you get into like really nice studio microphones. This is an on-camera microphone. This is what I record all of my videos on, and it's a really nice microphone. I enjoy using it. But trying to get it mounted in that overhead boom position is just getting too frustrating. So is this super distracting? Of course, like my game stuff is normally all spread out here. There'd be a box over here or something like that, maybe a rule book over here, some components and boards spread out on the front here. Because I have the leg of the tripod running along the edge of the table, this is really only actually taking up about an inch of table space, and then I have it hooked over the edge of the table to balance it, and I can adjust the positioning of the tripod, or I should say the positioning of the microphone, however I need, because ideally you want it pointed directly at your mouth and as close as possible. So this is like 6 inches and in theory pointed directly at my mouth, versus trying to get it like up here just out of shot where it's like 1.5 feet away, and then I have to try to angle it, and maybe it's pointing at my mouth and maybe it's pointing at my nose and maybe it's pointing at the table, and I end up getting this really roomy, reverby, echoey kind of recording that then I have to try to filter the crap out of, and then it sounds shallow and tinny. It's really obnoxious. So to get the microphone, or to figure out a way to mount my microphone like this, where it's consistent every time, I don't have to fiddle with it, it's fast, it's easy to set up, and it's close to my face and angled correctly so that I get good, nice quality audio that I can then run through minimal filters to make sound nice and professional for you guys, would be ideal. So is this distracting? Is this going to get in the way? I mean, I don't really have a game set up to show you in like relative to the table, but if this was like a component on the table, obviously the microphone doesn't really get in the way of that. If I had, you know, a box sitting over here, it's not really that big of a distraction. Like, the box is obviously still on the table. So hopefully this is okay for you guys. I would love to be able to do this, but I don't want to reduce the look and quality of the videos by having this, like, I don't know, amateurish looking microphone setup just in the middle of the shot. Hopefully it doesn't come off that way too much, because it would be nice to be able to use it like this. But be honest, if this is too distracting, or if you think this makes the video look cheap because now the microphone is in the shot, let me know, and I'll probably just go out and buy a better sort of method to mount it overhead. Maybe I can anchor it to the ceiling or something like that. Here's a quick little gaming bit. One of the many reasons that I like board games over video games is that I've never gotten so frustrated with any tabletop game, short of maybe a tabletop miniatures game where I've flung some dice. But I've certainly never felt this way with a board game or a card game or any other tabletop RPG or anything like that, where I felt it necessary due to the level of frustration and anger in my body having built up from playing the game, that I feel the need to pick up and hurl one of the components across the room. And as you can see from this video game controller, this is an Xbox One controller. That recently happened to me trying to play Borderlands 2 with my wife while streaming. It was a combination of streaming issues and game issues, and mostly Bluetooth connectivity issues. You spend $60 on a remote and the thing won't properly link to your system. And I know it's not a Bluetooth driver issue or something like that. Every other Bluetooth device was working. It was just this controller being a pain in the ass. And so after like 2 hours of trying to troubleshoot and interrupting the stream and stopping the stream and starting the stream and not being being able to play the game and holding up my wife and just basically eating up an entire chunk of the day, which was supposed to be meant having fun, I took this and hurled it into a brick wall at about 100 miles an hour, and now it's in many, many shards, and frankly, I don't care. I'll play with my keyboard and mouse, or I'll play a board game, which do not ever generate that level of frustration, because once you lay all the pieces out on the board, they just work. I've never had a board game crash on me. I've never had a board game suddenly get buggy on me. If the rules don't make sense, you can just modify them on the fly and keep things going. So for many reasons, I like tabletop games and board games in particular far better than video games, because stuff like this just doesn't happen. Anyways, let me know about the microphone in the comments down below. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope none of you are having a frustrating time with any of your Bluetooth devices, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.